If you are looking for a compact microphone capable of stereo recording from your smartphone, here are two strong contenders, the Rode Wireless Micro and the DJI Mic Mini. Here's the TLDW, or Too Long Didn't Watch. While both are similarly priced, the DJI offers more features, with noise cancellation being the most notable. That said, at the end of the day, the purpose of an external mic is for better audio. I personally prefer the voiceover quality sound from the Rode, so that makes it my pick. It is completely subjective, so make sure to try both out. Alright, new year, new channel. I was looking for a wireless mic, something I could just record and spit out videos with little to no audio post-processing. After consideration, I narrowed it down to the Rode Wireless Micro and the DJI Mic Mini. Just know there are many more options out there. However, I needed stereo recording capability from a mobile phone, which eliminated those alternatives. Otherwise, you have a lot more choices that are outside the scope of this video. I paid out of my own pocket $160 for the Wireless Micro and $180 for the Mic Mini. Aside from stereo recording, some more similarities. Both have lightweight transmitters that can attach easily with clips or magnets. Both have some sort of gain control to prevent or minimize audio clipping. Both are designed for smartphones, supporting USB-C or Lightning connections for older iPhones. Differences. The Rode has an acoustic chamber that minimizes wind noise and plosives while speaking. The DJI has two-level noise cancellation if enabled. The Rode has a smaller case but will not fit the windscreens. The larger all-in-one case of the DJI will fit the windscreens, but it is not as compact. The Rode has automatic pairing for simple plug and play. The manual for the DJI also states automatic linking from within the case, but I cannot get this to work consistently. The Rode has 7 hours of battery life and up to 21 total with 2 recharges. The DJI has 11 hours of battery life and up to 48 total with 3.5 recharges. The Rode is rated for 100 meters of transmission range. The DJI has a whopping 400 meters. From here, the extra features of the DJI completely blow away the Rode. Quick charging, Bluetooth connectivity, safety track option, power saving features, compatibility with other DJI cameras and drones, and so on. There's so many convenience features here and there, I lost count. That's it for the specs. But what about the actual sound quality? After all, that's the main reason for using external mics. I have been switching the mics back and forth, so you should have a rough idea of the differences if you are wearing headphones. Next are some audio samples, and yes, all the firmware has been updated to latest. I have normalized the volume for easier comparison and listening on YouTube. Alright, I'm going to start reading a sample script in mono recording. This is a sample recall letter from Honda. Due to an improperly manufactured electronic power steering gearbox worm wheel and improperly set worm gear spring, friction between the worm wheel and worm gear can rise, resulting in additional steering effort and difficulty, increasing the risk of a crash or injury. Switching back to the Rode Wireless Micro. Due to an improperly manufactured electronic power steering gearbox worm wheel and improperly set worm gear spring, friction between the worm wheel and worm gear can rise, resulting in additional steering effort and difficulty, increasing the risk of a crash or injury. Due to an improperly manufactured electronic power steering gearbox worm wheel and improperly set worm gear spring, friction between the worm wheel and worm gear can rise, resulting in additional steering effort and difficulty, increasing the risk of a crash or injury. Alright, so both these microphones have stereo recording capability, so let's briefly try that out. Still with the Rode, one of the transmitters is now to my left about 3 to 5 feet away. Due to an improperly manufactured electronic power steering gearbox worm wheel and improperly set worm gear spring, friction between the worm wheel and worm gear can rise, resulting in additional steering effort and difficulty, increasing the risk of a crash or injury. Just want to mention that right now this is in merge mode, so both channels left and right should be combined automatically. Let's try out the DJI. Due to an improperly manufactured electronic power steering gearbox worm wheel and improperly set worm gear spring, friction between the worm wheel and worm gear can rise, resulting in additional steering effort and difficulty, increasing the risk of a crash or injury. One feature unique to the DJI is clipping control, so that if you're speaking really close to the microphone, it should prevent some of the clipping blowouts. So right now, I want to move the mic really close to my mouth and breathe this and see if it helps. Due to an improperly manufactured electronic power steering gearbox worm wheel and improperly set worm gear spring, friction between the worm wheel and worm gear can rise, resulting in additional steering effort and difficulty, increasing the risk of a crash or injury. Okay, now I put the mic back down. How did that sound? Did it help at all? All right, finally, I'm just gonna use one microphone. I'm gonna speak really loud into it, see if the automatic gain assist is doing anything for the RØDE. How does it sound? Is it clipped, blown out? All right, now I'm gonna test out the safety track feature of this DJI. I'm gonna again move the mic really close to my mouth just to see how this sounds. In theory, one of the mics should be recording at the -6 decibels compared to the other so that I can use this track in post-processing. The RØDE does not have an active safety track feature, at least in the app. So simply what I'm going to do is place one of the transmitters further away from me. The one clipped on my shirt, I'm now going to speak really loud into it, which is going to cause it to start clipping, blowing out, whatever you call it. And then what I'm going to do is in post-processing, I'm just going to use the audio from this transmitter right here, which should in essence be the same as the safety track feature, just done manually. Next, we're going to do some tests on noise cancellation. First of all, as a reference, this is the iPhone audio. Right now we have the HVAC in the background. Hopefully you can hear that. This is the RØDE Wireless Micro. As you know, there is no noise canceling for this microphone. So this is one of the trade-offs you'll just have to live with if you decide to go with this one. How does it sound with the HVAC noise in the background? Is this something you could live with, or is it just too annoying? Right now, this is the audio from the DJI with noise canceling turned off. This is how it sounds. I have turned noise canceling to basic, the lower of the two settings. The yellow light is now on the transmitter. This is how it sounds. This is how the audio sounds like with noise canceling set to strong, the higher of the two levels. I'm going to talk for a few more seconds so you can see how it sounds like with my voice and the canceling of the audio in the background. Alright, so let's test this out with a little bit louder interior ambient noise. I am in my home theater room with the PlayStation 5 and hooked up to the audio receiver in the background. So this is the iPhone audio. How does this sound? This is a sound clip on the RØDE. Again, this doesn't have any noise canceling. How does it sound with all the noise in the background? Can you hear me clearly? This is the DJI with noise canceling set to off. I'm not sure how this compares with the RØDE and iPhone audio. Do you hear any difference right now? This is now audio with the noise canceling set to basic or the lower of the two settings. How does the audio sound? Can you hear me a little bit better with the noise canceling turned on? This is noise canceling set to strong or the higher level. Right now I am again talking over the music coming from the game, the video game in the background. How does it sound with me talking and with all the noise at the same time? Do you hear any difference with this set on high? All right now I have both mics attached on the hood. I'm just driving around. This is audio and stereo coming from the RØDE. As mentioned earlier, there is no noise canceling on this microphone. How does it sound? Just want to talk a little bit. With stereo recording, the benefit is that in post we could change one channel to be louder and the other softer, vice versa. Obviously the mic that's outside is going to be a lot louder with all the wind noise. All right, next up is now the DJI. This is just with the noise canceling turned off. Just driving down my street again. How does this sound? Does it sound better already than the RØDE? Next up now is the noise canceling set to basic, the lower of the two settings. If you have not already, please subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. This helps make future videos. I would really appreciate that. Last but not least, this is the noise cancellation set to the higher setting, or strong. How does this sound with my voice? Does it sound more clear now? All right, after I recorded yesterday, the sky opened up and pretty much shat on us. Well, not a lot of snow, but it came out of nowhere. Right now, winds are sustained at around close to 20 miles per hour. Right now, I'm recording all these audio samples with the windscreens on due to all the wind noise, or there should be wind noise. Now I'm going to turn on noise cancellation on the DJI, see if that helps. The wind is still blowing pretty hard, whether you can see it or not. Good thing I got a chance to grab footage today. The weather for the next few days is not expected to be great, so glad I got this opportunity to do this before everything gets really bad and cold here. Alright, as promised, the weather went to shit. It's pretty bad today. I've actually cleared this driveway once already. This is actually the second time, so. Usually don't get a lot of snow here. They said this year there's gonna be a La Nina. Well, maybe La Nina this. Not sure where this came from. I'm actually pretty lucky to be able to get footage like this because I can really test out these bikes, the noise cancellation, just to see how good they really are under extreme circumstances. Remember, these are compact mics that omit the bells and whistles of their more capable and expensive versions. They were made to simply attach to your phone, record, and upload. The typical user is unlikely to spend time applying EQ filters, noise gate, limiters, etc. Think of live streaming scenarios. After reviewing the footage, here are my observations. I found the RØDE to sound bright and clear, whereas the DJI was ever so slightly muffled. You can hear the difference in a completely silent room. Hard to notice, but it's there. Once ambient noise is present, it's a wash. The clarity of both mics are the same. Considering the RØDE does not have active noise cancellation, it holds up well. It sounded better than the DJI with noise cancellation off, and in some cases even with it set to basic. In the loudest environments, strong noise cancellation is your only saving grace, and the DJI definitely saves, even if it comes with a decrease in audio quality. The DJI clip and control and RØDE intelligent GainAssist work well under normal use, but won't do jack shit if you abuse it. You still need to monitor your levels, which leads to phone apps, as there are no screens or visual indicators on these transmitters. Let's move on to actual usability observations. Starting with the wireless micro, the audio from the RØDE Central app is extremely quiet, even when set to high gain. The levels are so low, they barely register on the meter. After some investigation, I had to use the more capable RØDE Capture app, which defaults to level 50. You must use this app to actually increase the gain. Unfortunately, the level resets each time you restart the app. Worse, RØDE Capture is not supported on older phones, so if you are considering the Lightning version of this mic, be aware. If live streaming, your audio may be way too low with no easy way to track or increase it. Instead of using software gain adjustment, the DJI has a physical knob on the receiver. This is much more conducive to spitting out proper audio with less work. That said, it contributes to the bulk of this receiver, which is massive compared to the RØDE. DJI manufactured this with compatibility for their cameras and drones. Phones were an afterthought, as you can tell by the right angle adapter. Considering the overall package, RØDE is definitely the more compact and discreet option. So compact that the case can't even fit its own accessories. Nonetheless, I'd rather be seen in public with this instead of this. If you are not recording in a quiet studio, the larger DJI case and accessories it can carry can be invaluable. FYI, all footage for this video were filmed over several weeks, all on a single case charge for both mics. Here is how much battery life is left on each. Now, the ugly. These mics kind of suck. The RØDE is new, yet feels outdated already. It has no extra features like noise cancellation, which is often standard with the competition. I feel like they purposely left it out for a future version, once they run out of ideas. It's like the Apple of microphones. Looks nice and simply works, but lacks innovation. The bare minimum. I mean, look at the RØDE Central app. It's a complete joke. On the other hand, the DJI Mimo app throws various errors which I lost count of. This would be the Android. Has the bells and whistles for those who have the time to customize and tweak. The problem is basic functionality. As I mentioned, the transmitters and receivers only stay paired half the time. If you forget to check, only half your footage is usable. When removing the receiver, this phone adapter snaps off half the time, leading to longevity concerns. Like other mics, there is no easy way to replace the batteries, which means both are e-waste in a couple years. Planned obsolescence. The EU is actually working to change this in the future, just like how they forced Apple to move to USB-C on their phones. RØDE has a 5-year guarantee to account for the battery lifespan. The DJI comes with 1 or 2 years depending if you register for a warranty extension. Due to a heavy reliance on phone apps, both mics are useless if they ever go away. As you saw, the RØDE Capture app isn't even supported on older iPhones. DJI is a Chinese company, and if you are in the US, there have been talks of banning Chinese apps such as TikTok. Who knows how far they will go? Think I'm exaggerating? Here's an example. This free vision gimbal was once popular before COVID hit. All of a sudden, the app just disappeared, removing all the fancy phone features. Those who just bought it were SOL. At least it still has physical buttons for core functionality. Also consider this Bloom karaoke machine we just received. It doesn't say on the website when buying it, but you have to use the Chinese WeChat app to add songs to it, probably to avoid copyright issues. If that app ever goes away or gets banned, this becomes a paperweight. Conclusion: I picked the RØDE because it happened to better suit my needs. Your requirements may be different, so here are my recommendations. If you absolutely need noise cancellation, the DJI is a no-brainer. If you prefer a mic that just works and sounds good with minimal tinkering, the RØDE is relatively fail-proof. If you still can't decide and have patience, consider other alternatives or wait until mics with replaceable batteries come out. Sound quality is subjective, so pick a mic that you believe sounds best for your voice. Every subsequent YouTube video on your channel will be using it, so pick right from the start.